Aloha kako. What I have here today is a resolution that is going to all county council members on all islands, Kauai, Oahu, Maui, and of course Hawaii Island. This is a resolution to basically bring back God's natural law as codified in the Hawaiian Kingdom Declaration of Rights 1839 back to Hawaii. And it's real important because right now is a global corporate mafia. They are indeed rolling out global tyranny. It's time that we return the law of the Most High. Some call it universal law, natural law, or some even say common law. But it's basically God's law, based on the truth, based on love. Versus what we have now, massive interconnected corporate mafia, man's law. It's influenced terribly by politics and money. The work we do to return Hawaii Pai'aina, or God's natural law as codified Hawaiian Kingdom, is really, really important. And we believe that this resolution will help us move strongly in that direction. So I'm going to read it to you, the cover letter and the actual resolution right now. Okay, everybody, this is the cover letter. It's stamped April 20th, 2:04 p.m. County of Hawaii. To all county council members in the state of Hawaii, dear, and it's going to have everybody's name, but in our county we have Kimball, Chung, Leloy, Kikowitz, Kaniali'i Kleinfelder, Miley David, Villegas, Inaba, and Tim Richards there. I just wrote their names down. They all got their own individual copy. As a county council member and U.S. citizen on Hawaii Island, you are required to and have pledged a solemn public record oath unto the United States Constitution. We commend your Pono intentions and mahalo for ongoing service to your constituents and community in our beloved Hawaii. Aloha-centered people throughout Hawaii appreciate State House and Senate resolutions H.R. 28 and S.R. 178 that condemn Russia for its invasion of Ukraine. In like manner, Hawaii County passed Resolution 337-22. However, it is disingenuous to condemn Russia without likewise condemning the United States for its unprovoked and unwarranted invasion of the Hawaiian Islands. As we all know, this international act of aggression took place in 1893, and although the United States apologized 100 years later, Hawaii is still forced to endure the abuses and losses and other severe consequences from the unlawful occupation that resulted from that invasion. To be consistent with the condemnation of Russia, the Hawaiian Kingdom calls upon all Hawaii County Councils to pass a similar resolution condemning the United States for its invasion and subsequent occupation of the Hawaiian Islands. Ko Hawaii Pai'aina, as public servants of the people, you have witnessed firsthand the economic emergency, social decay, and environmental degradation that has become so widespread throughout Hawaii. High inflation has jacked up the cost of food, gas, cars, and rent. 49% of Hawaii households have difficulty with monthly bills. 69% are living paycheck to paycheck with little or no savings. As of last September, median rent on Oahu climbed to $2,100 per month from $1,700 the previous year. Used car prices jumped up more than 50%. Energy prices in Hawaii have soared 32.3%. Food shortages are on the near horizon. There's water contamination, especially on Oahu, and water shortages throughout Hawaii. These are a serious and deadly threat. The ongoing economic, social, and environmental crisis in Hawaii is felt by everyone. Domestic violence is rising and families are breaking up, with adult children moving to the American continent in record numbers. For those who choose to stay home, they work 2 and 3 jobs, with many who are compelled to establish a multi-generational housing. The high cost of living, rising inflation, corruption, poverty, mental illness, human trafficking, and crushing social decay fuel a massive and growing distrust in government. These harsh realities are taking a self-destructive toll. Right now, This downward spiral shows no end in sight. Our day of reckoning has surely arrived. The time has come for the people to make a Pono stand. Bold, decisive, and lawful steps must be taken now. Save Hawaiian. We can do this. Lawful remedy requires lawful action. These are the devastating consequences of 129 years of U.S. military occupation. It plays out right now for everyone to see. The United States Corporation, it's a corporation. You can go to U.S. Code, Article 28, Section 3002, Line 15, and the state of Hawaii, another corporation, a subdivision thereof. It has a Dun & Bradstreet number. There it is. These corporations do not have lawful title or jurisdiction over Hawaii Pai'aina. Hawaiian Kingdom is in continuity. Our country is not a corporation. We are a natural law, constitutional monarchy, where nobody's above the law. Under the Creator's law, as sanctified on this Aina, Declaration of Rights, 1839, Kauikeaoli, Kamehameha III. The country of Hawaii is not in debt. Please read attached resolution, which I will, and bring it to the full council for passage at your next session. You are home. Welcome home. E komo mai, sign, Leon Siu, Hawaii Minister of Foreign Affairs, Nelson Waikiki Jr., heir of Kauikeaoli, Kamehameha III. There are their phone numbers right here. And yours truly, Gene Tamashiro, founder of Hawaii Natural Law Assembly. And there's my number. So let's go right into the resolution. Now, we don't have a number right here because one of our favorite county council member is going to write in that number a resolution condemning the United States 1893 unprovoked invasion of the Hawaiian Islands and taking Pono and lawful steps to end the 129-year United States military occupation of the Hawaiian Islands. Whereas on January 16th, 1893, the United States of America launched a military invasion on the sovereign Hawaiian kingdom, Hawaii Pai'aina. And whereas Hawaii is a peaceful and sovereign constitutional monarchy, rich and unique in history, vibrant world-renowned culture, and abundant natural resources. And whereas Hawaiians and Americans stand in agreement with all God-given unalienable rights reserved under the Creator's universal natural law, sanctified on this soil, Declaration of Rights, 1839, Kauikeaoli, the Holy Bible, the U.S. Declaration of Independence, 1776, the U.S. Constitution, 1789, U.S. Bill of Rights, 1791, the Law of Nations, Hague and Geneva Conventions, the Laws of Occupation, and U.S. Army Field Manual 27-10. The pathway to Pono, ladies and gentlemen, it's already codified. Just honor your oath. Okay, whereas there is a long history of U.S. aggression against Hawaii and systemic genocide against the Kanaka Maoli people, Hawaii continues to suffer from the ongoing 129-year U.S. corporate military occupation. And whereas the U.S. has engaged in massive land theft, implemented structural systems of racism and dispossession, upending the lives of Kanaka Maoli, forcing many of them to flee their homeland or become houseless, which in turn has led to disproportionately high rates of incarceration, suicide, heart disease, diabetes, addiction, despair, and it goes on. Whereas the 24th U.S. President Grover Cleveland stated that the United States military demonstration upon Hawaiian soil in Honolulu was itself an act of war. Whereas the 42nd U.S. President William Clinton and the U.S. Congress acknowledge that the overthrow of Hawaii occurred with the active participation of agents and citizens of the United States, and further acknowledge that neither the government of Hawaii nor Kanaka Maoli relinquished to the United States their inherent sovereignty as a people or true title over their national lands, either through Keo Aupuni ko Hawaii Pai Aina or through a lawful plebiscite or referendum. Whereas Hawaii Pai Aina, or Hawaiian Kingdom, was recognized as a sovereign nation by the U.S. on December 23, 1826. Also July 6, 1844, and by the United Kingdom and the Kingdom of France on November 28, 1843. As a result of the recognition of Hawaiian independence, the Hawaiian Kingdom entered into treaties with major nations of the world and established over 130 legations and consulates in multiple seaports and cities, including Austria-Hungary, Belgium, Bremen, Denmark, France, Germany, Great Britain, Hamburg, Italy, Japan, Luxembourg, Netherlands, New South Wales, Portugal, Russia, Samoa, Spain, Sweden, and of course the United States. Stay in honor, live aloha. Here we go. Whereas the Kanaka Maoli have continued to defend their home country and precious ecosystems with extraordinary resolve against their Goliath-like occupier through nonviolent, peaceful actions. And whereas the Hawaiian Kingdom, Hawaii Pai Aina, needs support to protect their homeland from this hostile invasion and will need support to recover from the abuses and atrocities committed by the U.S. Therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the County of Hawaii, Kauai, Oahu, Maui, all of them, that it denounces the United States invasion, occupation, and war crimes, including genocide, against the Hawaiian people, and proclaims its support for the Hawaiian Kingdom, Hawaii, and her national population. Be it further resolved that the County of Hawaii, Kauai, Oahu, Maui proclaims its support for ending the United States occupation of Hawaii. Ke aupuni ko Hawaii Pai Aina. We need to conclude a treaty of peace between our beloved countries. Establish a lawful United States embassy in Hawaii with consulates on all islands. We negotiate a Pono status of forces security agreement and launch a worldwide Aloha Truth educational campaign. If this makes sense to you, if it resonates with what you know is right and Pono, call your favorite council person on any of the islands and tell them, you guys got the resolution. Look at it. It's not very long. I do believe strongly that this resolution, although it doesn't carry enforcement powers, it sends a very powerful message to everyone in Hawaii and everyone in the world that we know who we are, where we are, and what really is the law and the title of this Aina. We need remedy, and we need it now. We need to reassert, reconfirm, clarify, and confirm the actual truth and the actual law. So if you have any questions, you can call me, Gene Tamashiro, 808-785-0402. God bless everyone.